And I'm going to go live here on Instagram and then wait for you. And then, yeah, turn your computer sound off.
Okay.
Okay, looks like I see us live on Facebook. Or no, yeah, Facebook is up. Yay. And I am waiting for Rachel to join on Instagram. There we go.
Yeah.
There she is.
All right, I am requesting now. Did you get my request?
There we go.
It's coming. Technology.
There we go.
There we go.
All right. Cool.
And oh wait, let me flip.
It's,
yeah. There we go. There we go. Oh my God.
Did we do it?
I think we did it. I'm guessing this must have been what we did last time. We just put on. So.
Yeah. Third time's the charm.
Yes. Yeah. Awesome. So, today for healthy living tips. Thank you for all those that are joining us. Yeah, we decided to change our lives from importance of nutrition to healthy living tips because that just makes no sense.
Expand the horizon a little bit. Be able to talk about more things than just nutrition.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's more than just nutrition. And nutrition, of course, is
a big part of it. And there's so many other things
when
we
it
can
comes
do.
to health. And of course, there's always that nutrition we can add. And today we want to talk
about staying balanced.
Yes, so important. So much of our life we can get so focused, and you make a change, or you get focused on something that's maybe wrong in your life, and then you kind of go all or nothing, and you dive in, and then back the other side of the pendulum because you're burnt out or stressed, or you can't maintain that for a lifelong behavior. And so, really finding that balance is key to healthy living in the long run.
Yeah, and it's like with my own personal
experience,
you know, it was like,
like you said, it was like, let me
get super strict on dieting and, you know, wanting it to get to a certain, you know, typically for me, it used to always be a weight goal, right? Not at all. But back then, it was always more of a restriction, right? And so that whole term to me now, when we talk about diet actually is like restriction, right? When you restrict something, you're gonna want it more, right? So that's why, like, I love, you know, with the 80-20.
So I know, like you were the one that pretty much taught me this.
So I'd love for you to share more around that.
Yeah, and I think it's exactly what you said. When you tell yourself not to do something, it's almost like more of that comes up. If I told you not to think about a white elephant, all you're going to think about is a white elephant. So if we can just allow things to come without forcing them away. So a diet or a restriction is deprivation. And so if you're on a diet, all you think about is what you can have. And all you're focused is on that time that you're going to be able to have it next, or how bad you feel if you don't have it, right? Are you getting feedback, or is it just me?
I'm not. You getting feedback? No.
I can probably make do with it. So
okay.
Yeah,
no. I'm actually pretty clear. I don't know if anybody on Facebook is getting feedback, but Brian Lawson asked, so what are the tips? So that's one of them, right? 20. And following an 80-20 rule. And what that looks like for me, I mean, just to make it, you know, because some people are like, what does that even mean? Well, it could look any way. And that's why, again, we're all about things away so it can be a lifestyle. For me, it looks something like, you know, healthy all week. And then a whole, you know, day like Saturday, for instance, I may take that day to eat whatever I want, right? As a reward, as a way to treat myself. So that's one of the things that I take on.
Yep. And I think I can a lot of different ways for a lot of different people. You might be someone that says, I can't go 6 days to wait for the 7th, but if I could do 80% of my whole day, great, and have 20% of my day where I fudge a little bit or whatever it may be, sometimes that works well for people. Or yeah, and I personally have also found that if you just are generally speaking trying to do good for your body, and then not beating yourself up those occasional times that sneak in that you're just living life, then that's okay too. It's letting go of that guilt associated with doing something and saying, no, it's actually because I've spent so much time fueling my body, doing the exercises needed to create a healthy, strong body, being well, meditating, that I'm also going to take a day to sleep in. I'm going to take a day to rest. I'm going to take a day to have a little bit of sweets. I'm going to take some time to have a burger and fries instead of whatever it may be, and being absolutely okay with it because you're treating yourself, like you said. Right?
Yeah, treat, not
Yeah,
cheat.
treat, not cheat. That's like a big thing for
Just
me.
knowing that, hey, I live a
Knowing
healthy
that, hey,
lifestyle, and then really taking that
on is like, okay, what is that?
Rather than restriction.
Rather than restriction.
And then you're going to make those healthy choices overall. And then every so often you treat yourself. And I know some people are sharing different things. So let me just get to what Facebook is. So Brian Lawson says health tips: ginger, garlic, chlorella, lemon. Yep, they're all great health benefits. You know, I feel like we've talked about some of those in maybe like our last one. I don't know. And then yes, of course, exercise. I'm sure we'll talk about that on another day. But that's part of staying back too, right? Because you know, balance doesn't mean literally working out every single day for 2-3 hours a day. There's a balance to that as well, you know. So that's what we're, you know, really wanting to share with everybody here, is how do you create a balanced way of living so you can make it a healthy
lifestyle.
And if you do go and have a burger and fries and whatever, you're eating it with joy, not like eating it and like saying, oh my God, I can't believe I'm eating this, because that's when you're going to do damage to your body.
Right. And same thing with the fitness and the exercise. If you say, I'm going to take a day off, but then you beat yourself up that you didn't work out that day, you're not going to do any good. You're going to increase that cortisol and that stress in the body, versus saying, I'm truly needing a rest day, or maybe today's a yoga day, or today's a day to stretch or to walk, get out in nature, but truly being able to be okay with not, you know, vigorously intense exercise every single day of the week.
Absolutely. Or on the other spectrum of it, people don't like to do those intense workouts. And it's like, hey, you don't want to do those intense workouts? Don't do them. Just don't like do it and then feel shitty while you're doing it, because that's not going to be great either, right? You're not your body in that moment. You're actually doing more damage to your body because you're not enjoying it. So it's like, go and find what it is that you enjoy when it comes to exercise, when it comes to food, when it comes to whatever there is, right? So that's really, I think that's actually the key. I think you hit on the nail. Is there's no right for any person,
not the right way for you, whatever that may be. If you're a person that enjoys slower, gentle, transitioning into things, patience. If you're the person that likes to go hard, but recognizing that any body type, on the nutrition side, on the physical side, on the mental well-being, be okay with it. Don't do it because you're supposed to, or you should do it this way. Do it because it brings you joy, peace, calm, pleasure, feeling good types of emotions.
Yeah, someone here on DC saying, oh, hi, Katie. Doctors literally told me to eat whatever makes me happy. I agree and disagree to some extent. I totally get that. You want to be happy with what you're eating. And, you know, I mean, if I were to go and eat pizza 3 days, you know, 3 meals out of a day, 7 days a week, and be happy about it, I don't know if my my vessels would like that very much, right? So yes, to some extent, you want to definitely, if you are going to be doing it, and that's not necessarily a balanced way of having a healthy lifestyle. Now you can choose to live that way and be perfectly happy. Oh, what was your, Jay said, please answer my question. Let me scroll back. I must have.
Do you believe in lifelong viruses?
Oh,
I think.
okay. Lifelong virus? I don't think I've ever heard of such a thing. I don't know. That's more.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
I'm not sure.
I'm not sure.
Right.
Yeah, I'm not sure what
you're referring to, Jay.
I don't know. I mean, I know that we have viruses in our bodies all the time, like bacteria, viruses, all that lives inside of our bodies. And then our body just has
Right. Oh, sorry. I think we have a little bit of a delay. But yeah, I said I think they're constantly mutating and, you know, changing to survive. And I think perhaps the impact that it has on ourselves and our oxygen, which in this state of this COVID pandemic, maybe in terms of balanced living, is how much time and energy and effort we focus just on that versus living a balanced lifestyle of being informed of the information, being educated, and also knowing that there are things we can do to control the emotional reaction, to live a healthy life, to lower our stress, to raise our immunity, to protect us in the midst of viruses that we're constantly being exposed to.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, again, the mutations and whatnot. That happen.
Always happen.
Right? Doesn't mean it doesn't come out. But back to staying balanced. Because I definitely want to stay on topic. Definitely have a conversation with our immune system, because I think that's a huge one. Have that be another healthy tip. As for David, he said, yeah, it totally makes sense, right? And then again, it's about, well, what can you have that are healthy? You know, like the healthy carbs. Right, because there's definitely
what can you have that are like the healthy carbs, right? Because you can be more balanced.
Exactly. Right. So it's like looking at it as like, hey, what is right? What is that? And even when it comes not just with how we do, you know, food wise, but like we were talking about exercise. I love just 80-20 because that sticks to me. 80-20 when it comes to working out, also for people that want to get healthy, lose weight or get toned, is what I prefer to say. That also is like 80% actually nutrition is the exercise, right? So it's like the 80-20 rule. I feel like applies for both. And that's a way of staying balanced as well. But yeah, I don't know if you want to say anything.
Yeah, I'm trying to catch everything. I think something's going on with my connection a little bit, but in terms of, I think it was David or whoever's talking about the weight gain, I think the same thing basically applies too in terms of the 80-20 is, yes, eat what makes you happy and also eat what's going to keep your body healthy and putting on the right types. I think you said the right types of carbs, or making sure you're getting good quality protein or things that aren't, you know, saturated trans fats that are going to be impacting your heart while you're trying to gain weight. But of course, go back and enjoy your pizza or enjoy whatever does make you happy that way, just in the reverse too. Sure. Yeah, for sure.
And there's modifications that you can do all the time because, like, for instance, I'm pretty much, I would say, 80% vegan, organic vegan, but I still, you know, will have meats and cheese. Cheese here and there. I'll modify things. I'll make a delicious pizza that's straight vegan, and it actually tastes great, you know. And there's a lot of things that you can do around that. So Jay is saying he's trying to get a stronger immune system through health and nutrition. Yeah, that's absolutely possible. And we actually have some really great products for that. So we can definitely reach out to you. Oh, I think, can you hear me, Rach? I don't know. You're like, here we go. Are you able to hear me?
I cut out. I'm sorry. I don't know.
Oh no, I know. I saw it was like spinning on the Instagram side. Yeah. So I was just, you know, Jay said he's trying so hard to get a stronger immune system through health and nutrition, and that is like the way to do it, right? Well, we will definitely. I feel like next week's topic needs to be immune system. It's coming up quite a bit, so. We can definitely, you know, chat more around that next week. Otherwise, you know, we can also reach out to you because, you know, I'm all about the immune system. I know Rachel is too. I mean, I went through a whole Oh, you're freezing again. I get it. She's freezing. Anyhow, so I'll just share my story real quick. I went through a whole brain tumor healing journey a few years ago.
And so for me, immune system
is key to everything.
The key.
And I would love actually to talk more.
And I would love to talk
Lion J, or we, you know, we'll definitely. We're doing these lives.
Or we, you know, we'll definitely doing these lives
next week.
Every week. So we'll definitely talk about immune system next week.
Yeah. I think Rachel's like,
I'm just going to echo what everyone else said.
All right. We may not be able to do these lives with both, but that's okay. Let's figure it out. Technical difficulties will happen.
Technical difficulties
will
happen, you know.
Can you hear me at all?
On Facebook.
Rach? No.
Can you?
All right, let's do this. Hold on.
Can you hear
I'm
me at all?
gonna cancel you out.
Wait,
let's go on the.
I just heard that.
All right, let's go. I'm gonna cancel on the.
Okay. Well, I was gonna say I'm gonna close you out on Instagram, and I'll just like have it Zoom on both of us, and then we can turn our speakers on. Is that good for you?
Okay.
So that way we can both actually. All right. All right. She'll still be on with us, but I'm gonna do it differently here. Okay.
Okay.
Give us a second while we figure this out. Okay. Can you hear me through the computer?
Okay. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on with Instagram.
I don't know.
Sorry.
Oh, it happens, right? We tried. We're trying our best to get these technical stuff figured out, but here we go.
Yeah, my service is full strength, my bars. So I don't know if there's like I don't know. I'm not a techie person, so I don't know.
Yeah, and this still works, right? Everybody can hear her on Instagram. Yay. Yeah. I know, I am Davies, like it happens. Yes, technology happens.
Yes.
And there's always workarounds. That's with my tech background. So that's one thing I can take on.
Nice.
But yeah, back to staying balanced. I'd love to see, you know, if anybody else has any other questions around that, you know, any struggles that you're having around staying balanced, because I know that that's something that I hear all the time, where people are like, hey, you know, I was able to do it for the first 2 weeks, you know, and I was able to stay balanced, and then the old habits kicked in, right? So I'm just curious to see if like anybody has anything that they want to ask us. And I'll just continue with that though, like, right? So if somebody says that to you, like say one of your, you know, customers, client says that. So how would you handle that?
Well, I think a lot of it comes with where you're starting and your baseline. So if you're coming from never exercising, having 20, 50, 100 pounds to lose, to then saying, okay, 80% of the time I'm going to eat salads and, lean protein, and I'm going to work out 6 days a week, and then I'm going to have my one rest day and my pizza on the 7th day, is probably very unrealistic. So be conscientious of where you're starting from and what 80-20 means to you, what your current state is, what your current set of behaviors are. Don't judge, don't compare to where you ultimately either want to see yourself be in the long term. You have a vision where you're going, but I think the progress to get you over time and learning those things is very important. And so that 80-20 ratio, or what that looks like and what that means, may vary right now versus a month from now and versus 6 months from now. So I think being realistic in your goals, for one, having accountability and support, I think is another really big thing. And so you have these great intentions and you set it out and it gets going and you're like, yeah, I'm doing great, everything's working. But then the people that you're surrounded by in your life maybe aren't on the same path, and they keep asking you, and summer comes up and there's another barbecue and this and that. And it just is very easy to kind of slide right back down that hill. But if you're trucking up the hill with 3 or 4 or 5 other people who are kind of in the same mindset, who say, okay, instead of going to the barbecue and going straight to the table, we're going to go and we're going to interact and we're going to play a game with people there, not focus so much on the food, but focus on the company, right? Or it could look all kinds of different ways, but I think having that support and realistic goals. And then the third thing I would say is remembering why you're doing it and getting so clear on the intrinsic reasons. So most of us know someone at some point who just quit smoking, who went cold turkey and said it was enough, and they never smoked another cigarette in their life, even despite 10, 15, 25 years of smoking and multiple attempts to quit. That final time was the final time because it became so important that nothing was going to get in the way. But sometimes when you're setting out to make health behavior changes or trying to be a better version of yourself, you have to do it for the right reason. So that motivates you more than all the triggers or excuses or obstacles that might come up in the way.
Absolutely. And just to add to that, because that's a huge thing, right? Is, setting these goals that are going to be something that are with like the deepest why that you have, right? Because when you just say, oh, I'm going to lose, I'm doing this to lose weight. Well, that's like a temporary goal, right? So it's like, well, why are you wanting to, like, what is it? What are you wanting to get out of, losing weight or getting more fit, And so when you go deeper and deeper, you realize, oh, somebody's just wanting more energy. Somebody wants to just like feel happier and, getting maybe in those jeans that they've been holding on to, or maybe they need to get rid of, to like release that energy, right? Because a lot of that is also not making yourself wrong. Because I think that's what a lot of people tend to do. They go like, they're like all in, and then they mess up one meal and they're like, oh, F it to the entire day, or however that looks like, rather than being like, okay, well, I just treated myself and that's okay. And I'm not going to go down that, roller coaster of guilt and shame and all this stuff. Instead, just saying, okay, and forgiving yourself in order to be able to continue. Because that's what a healthy lifestyle is.
Right.
It includes having fun.
Totally.
Totally. I went organic vegan and 80% because I still want to sometimes have a bite or two of pizza or cake or whatever that looks like. If my body is like desiring it, I'm going to give it to my body. And I'm also going to do it and, be conscious of it, right? Not binge
But
eat.
if you even take it one step farther of, wanting to fit in the jeans or having more energy, which are great intrinsic goals, but then even something more profound. So I know, for example, when you went vegan, it obviously was probably one of the most intense moments in your life, if not the most. And there was such a motivating factor that nothing was going to sway you regardless. And it was almost that you found pleasure and reward, and the emotional connection to going vegan was, I'm giving my body every chance of survival. I'm doing everything to rebuild healthy cells. That the pizza.
And I cried, by the way, when I went organic. You know that, right? Like I cried several times the first 2 months because I was like, oh my God, there's no meal without cheese, meat, or eggs in it, and what is this? And now I come to realize, with chemo and whatnot, that was necessary. That was beyond crucial for me, to have it be easier, as easy as chemo could be. Right. Again, it comes back to the why.
And redefining then that balance for you. Balance in that sense was then how much more energy do I want to have during the day? How much more strength do I want to have to battle chemo? You weigh the 80-20 of what's important and what you're doing to invest in the important sides, and the cheat or the treat yourself is because the balance has to do with living life, and obviously still not viewing yourself as someone who's constantly focused on fighting the tumor, but also being able to surround yourself and do cultural activities or just because it tastes good and you enjoy it. But your mindset on the 80 side was so much about.
And it was actually 90 back then. That's how crazy I was about it. Right. It was like more like 90, 95. So yeah, for me, I'm like 80s, that's doable.
Yeah. Right.
So I am David said it's really hard to be balanced during COVID. LOL, yeah. It will all get back to normal eventually. Well, yeah, we are entering a new norm, right? I don't think it's ever going to go backwards. And again, it's about like what I love with isogenics, it allows me to be balanced, and are you two finding it harder to really be balanced? I actually, he asked again, are you two finding it harder to really be balanced during quarantine? And yeah, these questions go together, but for me, it's actually been a lot easier because, again, we have this nutritional rebalancing system, which is, the core of what I have, and I had it during chemo and everything. Rachel's the one that introduced me, thank God. So that I feel like is one of the reasons why it's been easier. because it's like less time going out to get groceries. You know, I don't need to do a takeout as much because I have 1 or 2 meals for the most part already, you know, and
ready to go.
Yeah, ready to go, and like a meal replacement shake with all the nutrients my body needs.
Right.
So that's why I feel like it's been easier for me.
Less temptation of being out with friends, going out on Fridays and Saturdays, or drinking late into the night, or parties, or this or that. It's a lack of balance probably on the social side, a lack of balance on some of the other things that are important to well-being. From a nutrition and exercise standpoint, it also comes down to how you shift your mindset around it. So some people might say, well, I can't be balanced because I can't stick in my normal routine of going to the gym and lifting weights or taking classes, maybe on the exercise side. But that's where it comes to what else can you find, right? Totally. And how can you adjust and do home workouts or more hiking or outdoor activities or jump rope? I know you got really big into jump rope.
And biking, right? It's like getting creative now, right? And creating, because it's like, that's what life is about is, okay, well, I can't do this now. What can I do in place of it that's still joyful, right? But yeah, so that's, I mean, hopefully the
not
answer.
Why can't I, but how can I? It's just
exactly.
And shifting your mindset. Yeah.
So yeah, all right. I think we're pretty much hitting 30 minutes. This is like one of the longer ones, but I also think that a lot of great things came out of it. Thank you all so much for, you know, participating. Oh, Brian Lawson on Facebook says, I'm offering to exercise with any 2 people that go through your link. Must live in Broward County, if I'm saying that correctly. Broward. I'm not a pronunciation person. So yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah,
thanks,
so
Brian.
That's Brian. Yeah, thank you. And yeah, next week looks like it's immune system, so that's what we'll be touching on. Otherwise, yeah, if you guys have any other questions or are looking, you know, for a way to be nutritionally rebalanced, I mean, that's what we do, you know, as well. That's what we coach a lot of people through. So be well. Thanks, ladies. Be well. Wash your hands. Yes. Thankfully, this at least is making people that didn't wash their hands wash their hands.
Yeah. Right.
Didn't change that for me because that's how I was raised. But you know, just people didn't wash hands as much. Anyhow, yeah. Is there anything else that you wanted to say, Rach?
I think that's it. Yeah. Here for anyone. Always ready to be in a support accountability partner for anyone who's looking forward, and just enjoy life. Be happy and smile. Yeah, and we have a whole team of support for accountability, which makes it really easy, David, just to let you know. Yeah. Awesome. Well, have a great rest of your day. Until next week. Bye. Bye.